This is the fourth video in my set of introductory videos, but I'm recording this one on January 2nd, 2023. And I'm recording this video because something has changed. As you can see on the screen, what I have opened here is Chat GPT. For those of you who don't know what Chat GPT is, Chat GPT is a AI program in which you can go ahead and enter all kinds of questions into where it says, if you look in the upper left-hand category where it says new chat, you can enter in questions and it gives you pretty good answers. Well, the reason I know about this is because my son, who used to do grading for me, emailed me and he said, "Dad, I think I found a way that students can cheat on your essays. Send me a copy of your study guide, the same study guide that you guys have in Canvas." And I said, okay, I wasn't particularly worried. And I sent it to him. And he took one of the questions from the study guide and he input it where it says new chat. He clicked on it and he pasted in one of my questions. It was a question about members of Congress voting like delegates versus trustees. We'll get to that later in the semester. And it generated an excellent essay like that. It took like 10 seconds and boom, it generated an excellent essay. And I thought, oh crap. Like now students, what they're going to do is they're going to go into Chat GPT and they're just going to go into my study guide and enter in all my questions and they'll have ready-made answers. And how am I going to know? And then the more I thought about it, the more I realized that actually this wasn't going to be a problem in my class. And let me explain why. Once you read my syllabus and understand the way the class is structured, one of the things you'll know is that in order to answer the essay questions on my exams, you have to rely solely on the information I presented in the lectures or the lecture videos, whether you're taking a face-to-face class or an online class. Let me say that again. To answer my essay questions, you have to rely solely on the information in my lectures or in my lecture videos. You can't rely on the textbook. You can't Google my questions. And the way that I know whether a student has Googled a question or relied on the textbook is because oftentimes I talk about something different than what the textbook talks about or what people write online, right? Because the thing is that for me, this class is my one shot at affecting your understanding of American government and your understanding of political science. I don't want you relying on the textbook to answer my essay questions. I don't want you Googling a question. I don't care what other people think about the topic that I'm asking you about. I want to know whether or not you understand what I said. And so when I read an essay, if I see information in the essay that wasn't included in my lecture videos or my lectures, well, I used to think, oh, they were relying on an answer in the textbook, or they Googled this question, and that's why they're including information that I didn't cover in my lecture or lecture videos. And now I have to allow for the possibility that somebody just took my question and they entered it into Chat GPT. So here are some of the things you need to know. For my class, if I see an essay that includes things that aren't directly from my lecture video, I'm going to assume that you either relied on the textbook, you Googled it, or you went into Chat GPT. And I can assure you that I am going to run all of my questions through Chat GPT so that I can see the kinds of things that it covers that I don't. So that'll be a red flag for me. So as tempting as it might be to use, don't use it in my class. And again, I realize it's tempting. I mean, you should go to this web page and try and see what ChatGPT can do. It's really amazing what it can do. And I will be honest with you, in other classes, and especially in classes where professors are teaching directly out of their textbook, you might be able to get away with it. I'm not recommending that. I'm not. I think you should actually study the stuff you're supposed to study. But in my class, it'll be a disaster. I would just assume that you relied on alternative sources. Now, the truth is, there are probably still ways that you can use Chat GPT. If you write out your own essays to my questions, one of the things that you can do, and I know this because I did it, is I took an essay that a student wrote and I asked Chat GPT to check to make correct misspellings and grammatical errors. And it did. It did a good job. It did it quickly. There may be some uses for Chat GPT that aren't bad. But in my class, it's going to be particularly problematic. And so I'm sending this video because I want to caution you against making a mistake that could have a very negative impact on your class. If you happen to be taking a winter class or a summer class where the classes only last 4 weeks or 8 weeks, it might be even more tempting than a regular 16-week class. Don't do it. Don't do it, at least not in my class. Okay? So I hope that wasn't too depressing. I'd just like to be honest with you guys and let you know what's going on. I would rather prevent you from making a mistake than having to wind up giving you a bad grade because you made a mistake. So I'm hoping that you guys will pay attention to what I said, and I wish you the best of luck in my class. Okay? Take care.